We are something else. Always into something. We are something else. Always into something. We are something else. Always into something. We are something else. We are something else. Get up, get out. CB.
What up?
So, a couple weeks ago, we had Cornell Slayton on the line.
Our number one fan.
Number one fan. He hated every show, but he listens.
Maybe our number one listener. Maybe not our number one fan, but our number one listener.
I'll take those numbers, though. That on a rating scale, that still shows up.
He's 100% for every episode.
Exactly. And so we've got a lot of feedback in our emails about this guy. They want to know if the phone call was real. The phone call was very real.
Yeah, that's true.
The interaction was very real.
Very real.
So, but what we have is we called him back because we got a lot of feedback from him about the segment with him. So I figured, why not add this guy to the show? Now, why
he
not?
Might actually be like more popular than we are. Like I've gotten like more people
ask about him more than us.
Yeah,
that's crazy though.
Whatever.
So, Cornell, you're live with We Are Something Else. Are you there?
I'm here.
All right. So, we figured, since you were a big topic of conversation for the past couple weeks, we wanted to give you your own segment on our show. And we figured since we're doing podcasts, almost like radio, we'd give you a little nickname. So we've given you the Negative Nelly nickname. Don't worry about it. No reflection on you. But we wanted to give you Negative Nelly's top 3. We called you earlier, so you should have, I guess, your top 3 ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So let's start with number 1.
All right. Number 1. All right. Y'all know that pizza place with the big rat?
Pizza place big rat. You mean
like
like
Chuck E. Cheese?
Chuck E. Cheese?
Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
I had a friend named Chuck once, and I didn't like him.
Okay. Shout out to Chuck.
Yeah, shout out Chuck.
All right. What about what's your next one?
All right. You know those little yellow things that look like Twinkies with big eyes?
You talking about Minions?
Yeah, from the.
Yeah, that's it.
What don't you like about the Minions?
They're too cute. I don't like them.
Well, Negative Nelly, we're talking about physical fitness tonight.
Hey, I heard that. I heard you were going to be talking about that tonight.
So, you know, how do you feel about that?
And that's great because this coincides with my third thing.
All right. Well, what's your third thing?
All right. You all take shirtless selfies?
I'm guilty of that.
I know, and that's why I don't like you.
Oh, my bad, bro. My bad.
CB, he just ripped you.
Oh no, he did.
That was your top 3. Okay, I'm assuming you worked really hard on that. I thank you for that.
I appreciate it. And real quick, did you know I had a puppy once?
You had a puppy once.
What was his name?
I don't know. I got rid of him.
Well, why'd you get rid of him?
Why?
I didn't like him.
Negative Nelly strikes again.
Our man Cornell.
I'm sure we'll be in touch. Thank you.
I don't like you either.
We are something. Something Else. All right. We are Something Else, episode 10.
Yes, sir.
Double digits.
Mm-hmm.
We made it.
We're here.
Are we long enough now to be in syndication?
I mean, at least long enough now to be getting some more money from everyone besides Rough Skins.
Shout out to Rough Skins.
Shout out Rough Skins.
They write the checks.
I love Rough Skins.
CB, how are you?
I'm doing real well, man. How you doing, Kaleo?
I'm chilling. Superfly.
Yo, what up?
Man, 10.
Yeah.
We made it.
DS.
All right. So
We're in the double digits.
let's do it. Hey, we got to come grand with episode 10.
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't had a special guest in the studio in a while, a couple
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm glad our schedules all coincide. Let me give a quick background on what's about to happen tonight. So the person we have on the show, near and dear to me. I've known this person for a while. One of the more better football players I've seen in a long time.
There you go.
Very much so into physical fitness.
We're about that, by the way.
Yeah, about that. I'm pretty sure this person was a track star. Maybe. But he didn't bring his girl tonight, but he's here. Greg Jones.
Fellas, what's going on? Had to add that part in there.
Just messing with it. But nah. Greg Jones is here tonight. He's going to join us on the Get Up and Get Out episode. So let's have some fun, fellas.
Yeah, man.
Yo, episode 10.
Let's episode
We're having
10.
a
Let's do
good
it.
time.
So I want to talk Starbucks. Let's start out with Starbucks. Anybody aware of what's going on with Starbucks right now? Have you seen the video?
I just became aware what happened.
Nah,
With the apology they had to send, right?
I saw there was apology, but
There
I
was-
didn't
there was
see
an
what it was
apology.
for, though.
But so there was about an 8-minute video about it was two brothers sitting in a Starbucks cafe in Philly, and they were just sitting there. They hadn't bought anything yet.
I haven't even said anything yet,
And-
but damn.
Yeah, so they hadn't purchased anything, and somebody, either a patron or somebody from the store, was telling them they had to buy something. They just couldn't sit there, and they're like, "Well, we're waiting on our friends to show up." Then I don't know. At that point, maybe they were going to get something then, but they were just chilling. Last time I checked, chilling in Starbucks
Yeah, it's
is
fair
what
game.
everybody does.
I didn't think that was a crime.
You know it's gonna get you 5 to 10.
So police show up to have these guys thrown out or tell them to leave.
What was the location of the Starbucks?
Philly. And
Like in the city of Philly, or are we
Yeah.
talking the outskirts
I'm
of Philly?
assuming city of Philly.
Because if it's a city of Philly, they got
got a lot going
none
on
of this
there.
should be going on.
Right. And so there's a video of a white patron, because it's always about racing these days.
Right.
They're telling the police officer, look, these guys did nothing wrong. You know, why are you escorting them out in handcuffs? And we got to the point they're in handcuffs.
Oh, wow. That's
Wow.
Peaceful, but these guys didn't do anything to warrant a handcuff arrest. And you see them go out in handcuffs. So as of last night, there wasn't an apology, but today Starbucks did post an apology talking about we're going to do investigation on how our stores are run. Last time I checked, wasn't Magic Johnson didn't he own some Starbucks out here? So the
Definitely
company,
some on the West Coast, for sure.
Right.
Some in
Yeah,
DC,
for
one
sure.
in Landover at the Cap Center.
Right.
I think he bought one over there, but who knows
So-
if he still owns it.
Yo.
I'm not getting what's happening here with Starbucks. And
I mean, is it Starbucks or is it the person that works in Starbucks?
That was going to be my question. So is it a Starbucks issue or an employee issue?
Right. It had to be a employee issue or a person issue. I mean, I don't think it's a company thing.
But that's the problem, is that like for these companies, if you have these employees that are technically representing what you're supposed to be
Sure.
about, doing this kind of stuff,
right.
it's not going to show well on you.
Right.
right.
And
And it sounds like these people got profiled for literally just being black in America.
And we're
That's
wondering-
exactly what that
we're
sounds
wondering
like.
why Cap told the Seahawks he's still kneeling for social and racial injustice.
Right. And they're like,
I don't get what you're
him
talking
and
about.
Eric Reed being like, oh, all right.
We need you to
y'all still
question.
got their
We need you to deny
Have you learned your
integrity.
lesson yet by sitting out a whole year? Are you still gonna?
You still have principles. Can you get rid of those?
Right,
for us?
right.
How bad do you want this
You're
job?
still fighting for social injustice?
Didn't we fix that last season?
We'll call you back.
Yeah, we'll call you. Then they went out
Man.
and I forgot who they signed, but it's still whatever.
Yo.
It's a mess out there, America.
There's a reason why. There's a reason why this stuff is still going on, man. There's a reason why people are kneeling. There's a reason why we live near the district. And we got people going out and marching and doing all that stuff. Like,
So
Well, the thing is, like, also, I feel like people need to understand how to resolve conflict without calling the police. Like, you know, like.
Yo, and that's a big thing. That's a big thing. Weren't we just talking about this as far as like in gentrification and all that kind of stuff? And it's like, yo, if you're actually gonna try, like all these white people out here trying to gentrify like an area, don't be so quick to call the police on your darker skinned brethren that are living next door to you.
Community,
just because like their music being maybe played a little bit louder than you like, maybe you should talk to them before you start just calling the cops and all that kind of stuff.
And also, they might be annoyed because you're talking to them, but that's okay. You know what I mean? Understand that you're you know, kind of you are the
you wouldn't be calling the cops
their area. You know what I mean?
You wouldn't be calling the cops if you're getting invited to the cookout. You know, like if you're getting the invite to the cookout, what you going to be calling the police for? You know?
Exactly. The neighborhoods don't exist anymore.
Nah,
like not that type of neighborhood I grew up in where my parents knew the parents of my friend on the next block or the next block or the next block. Hell, we used to have our front door wide open, just have the screen. You can look in people's houses.
You didn't need to lock the doors because if people were coming over, it didn't matter if they were like, you know, my brother's friends or my friends or my sister's friends, whatever. If they were, it was the neighborhood. Like my parents opened the doors to everybody. Right. That's how it was. At least when we were growing up.
Man, shout out to Mr. Rogers, man. Y'all need to learn how to do that.
No, have you seen the documentary?
I know it's coming out, right?
Yeah, that's actually
I gotta check that out.
Pretty deep. I might want to see that.
Yeah.
He was also a sneakerhead. Like for people that don't know, Mr. Rogers
was the first thing he had.
He was in the sneakers. He was in the
sneakers.
sneakers.
Do the whole thing with the
so
kids.
yeah, like don't sleep on Mr. Rogers, man.
Black Jeopardy.
Last weekend.
Hilarious.
Cardi and Chad.
That was a pretty epic.
That was a great episode.
Yeah, it was good. The first time I actually saw was Tom Hanks was the guest on Black Jeopardy, and it was just hilarious. He's like some hillbilly.
Yeah,
Yeah. That was fun. And then this past week with T'Challa from Chadwick from Black Panther doing the whole skit about the potato salad.
That's the one I saw. See, I didn't see the latest one yet. All right, you can talk about that.
It was so good.
When he said with some like random ingredient like raisins,
I
died.
And totally unnecessary.
Yeah,
totally.
My favorite is like the fact that because Chadwick Boseman obviously a great actor
for sure,
immily was just in character,
character,
and just like Karen, she is Caucasian, no? I'm like, I was like, yo.
I think I'm getting it now.
I think I get it now. So if you haven't seen Black Jeopardy, check out Black Jeopardy. It's everywhere on YouTube.
Gotta watch it.
Speaking of something else you have to watch, Atlanta. And I'm trying to tell you, Donald Glover is going to get, if he doesn't get the Emmy.
He's a genius.
If my man doesn't get the Emmy for it, he's being robbed already. I'm trying to tell you, this is best TV I've seen.
At the macro level too, it's not like you're watching. It's like it's a comedy, right? But like every show is a different. No, but every show thematically is different.
Exactly.
So like the one, the whatever, what's
Teddy Perkins?
The Teddy Perkins one is so. You know what I mean?
It's so
like,
layered.
That joint
it's dark,
my
and
mind,
it's so dark
man, for real.
that the scene when they pull up to the drive-through is hilarious because everything else is so serious.
Everything else is so dark in
you know
that
what I'm
episode.
So it's man.
And then one part of the episode, because you're trying to figure out what the character is doing. Darius is the character,
right.
So he's at like a little convenience store, and he sees a hat that's a hat with a Southern with the Confederate flag on it, and it says Southern Made or something like that.
Yeah,
and then he gets a red marker. He asks the guys like, "How much for both of these?" And the guy tells him the price. Somewhere you see him marking something on the hat. Then on the hat it said he wrote "You mad." He scratched out all the letters to the point where it says "You mad." But it sets up the whole episode is classic.
It is.
I'm not gonna give too much away because CB hasn't seen it yet.
Right.
So.
Right.
But Teddy Perkins.
I'm not up. I'm
Also,
not up to date.
I don't know if you watched the original airing of it. I missed it, but it aired without commercials.
Oh, straight through.
Yeah, straight through. Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
wow.
So it's like 45 minutes or whatever. You know, like a movie basically.
Yeah.
That joint. I'm trying
Donald
to tell
Glover's just been killing it, man. Like everything that this dude touches turns to gold. Like
I feel like he made the whole thing though just to like troll Sammy Sosa.
Yo, now that's hilarious. Now that's an angle I didn't look at. That's an angle I did not look at.
But But that was the only humor in the show was a joke on Sammy
Yeah, that was the only one. And the way that they like laughed when they pulled the joint up, man. Yeah.
So the joke was about Sammy Sosa, white hat. Just Google that.
It's really messed up because back in the day, Sammy Sosa was one of my favorite baseball players.
Man.
Like
Yeah.
before he got popped for like the cork bat and all that other stuff. Like, crazy. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. All I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Baseball needs more excitement. I didn't give a shit that he was corking his bat. Like the fact that he was hitting all those home runs. Right. Yeah. I don't care.
I don't think baseball cared either.
No, that's the thing.
That's why they made the ball
They
lighter.
were probably real cool with all that.
They got rid
and they
of
were
the boys,
like,
made the ball lighter.
no, that specific bat is the one that broke. Oh, dog. No.
Sorry. But yeah, so Teddy Perkins episode and Barbershop.
Okay.
Barbershop's a classic. That's one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got a friend like that.
Exactly.
Everybody. Maybe
or a
two.
barber like that.
Or a
right?
barber like that, right.
But the funny thing is, so far in the season, well, at least the last 3 episodes I caught up on today, they all focused on one character. Because I started back from the one that was right before Barbershop, and then focused mostly on Ern and his girl at the polka thing.
Yeah.
And then the second one was the focused on my man Paperboy at the barbershop, and the third one focused on Darius interacting with Teddy
And it really
Perkins.
shows how they all could actually stand on their own.
On their own act.
No doubt.
You know, and have their own shows, which is also kind of awesome. Like maybe they all branch off into their own shows, which would be kind of crazy.
Now, what's crazy is the guy that plays Paperboy, like in real life, he went to like Yale theatrical school or
I
something
heard
like that,
him.
which is like, which blew my mind. You know what I mean?
These are real actors.
Yeah, this dude's like, he's deep.
But they're playing like the grittiest like characters.
Yeah, people that you know what I mean?
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
I mean, would you expect nothing less though from someone that went to Yale acting school?
The realest thing I heard him say on the episode with Bibby was when they were in the car, right? And Bibby was like, "Yo, man, you hungry?" And he was like, "Oh, you want some Zaxby's?" He was like, "Fuck yeah, I want some Zaxby's."
Right?
Like that reaction was so real. Like, man, you know I want some Zaxby's.
Come on, man.
I mean,
yeah,
because
you
let's
know
be
what-
real.
hell yeah, was
Yo, if
Zaxby's.
someone's offering us some Zaxby's,
Right.
who's trying to get some chicken? Like,
I
I'm
mean,
trying to get some chicken.
I'm all the way in.
Yo,
Zaxby's is a southern fast food chicken
shout out
joint.
Zaxby's.
that-
If you're not hip,
for a lot of
get
those
hip.
people who haven't been blessed enough to go to the South, that's
Make
where
a
Zaxby's
trip.
is.
Yeah,
Make
do
a
yourself a favor.
Right.
Yeah, do yourself a favor and
Come
go.
on, man.
out there's a world outside of Popeyes and
Right.
KFC and the carry out.
This is the fitness episode, though, right? Like,
But this you know what this is good. So
I mean, we're getting quick into the cheat meals
So,
before
right,
we
real
get
fast.
into
Yeah.
all the work.
so after you put in all the work, you can have some Zaxby's. But speaking of putting in all the work, tonight let's focus on physical fitness. This is very important.
Yeah, man.
Got a special guest.
We got to be physically fit to make it to 10 episodes, right?
Right.
Maybe, I guess. We'll see.
I mean,
But
at least us three.
God willing, right? So, special guest, my man Greg Jones in the
Yeah,
house.
man.
Shout out.
Gee,
What's happening, bro?
man, thank you for coming through.
You know what? I should be thanking y'all. I'm on episode 10.
10,
You
yeah,
know what I
that's the thing.
mean? That,
you know,
When me and CB were
Wakanda.
talking this week, we were
Right.
like, what are we going to do? And so we was like, should we do a top 10 of something? And
Right.
I was like, nah, I'm going to reach out to Greg and see if Greg can make it this week. Is this meant to be for 10?
we in the
So-
building.
So, all right, Greg. Let's see. Where should we start with physical fitness? Okay, easy question.
Okay.
How often should one work out in a week?
That's a good question with several answers. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing about fitness or anything in general. Whatever your goal is, right, it's going to have to reflect the amount of work that you put into it, right? So if you're just a regular everyday person, just wanting to stay in shape, well, maybe you can do the 3 to 4 days or something like that. But if you're looking to drop a massive amount of weight in a short period of time and your time frame is very short, hey, you got to be there just about every day, right? You can't cut corners. So my answer to that, my non-direct answer to that is make sure the work that you're putting in is reflecting the goal that you're looking to achieve, right? If it's a short-term goal, you can start to break things down a little bit more and say, okay, I'm just going to focus on making sure I make it X times a week and focus on my consistency, right? Once you get that consistency, you get past the soreness, you get past maybe the newness of whatever your routine is, you can start to tweak things because, again, there's no cookie cutter that works for everybody, right?
Everyone's got their own. Like their body's gonna react differently.
Exactly. So CB may get on the bench. He does 5 sets of 10. This man's chest just blows up, and for me, it just doesn't work, right? And maybe instead for me, I go to incline dumbbell press, and I have to do that 2 times per week with that particular exercise, and that's what I need. So really just making sure that whatever your goal is, the work that you're putting into it matches up.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, because when I was in college, I worked for GNC.
Nice.
And I at the college town GNC that I worked at, so there would be plenty of people that came in regularly, asking questions, blah blah blah. And I remember specifically, this young lady came in, and she was asking me like, how often do you think I need to work out to lose 100 pounds? Because she was a big girl.
Sure.
And so I told her, I was like, well, I'm not your doctor. I'm not like your personal trainer that you're paying.
Yeah.
I have some insight into this, but I mean, honestly, the more times that you work out per week, the quicker you're going to get to your goal.
Absolutely.
So for me personally, I told her, I was like, for me to look the way that I look, I work out 4 to 5 days a week. And this is how much time I put in and whatever. She was like, all right, well, how long do you think it would take if I only went to the gym 3 days a week? And I was like, girl.
Yeah, you're
talking about losing a major amount of weight, but really actually not trying to actually put any effort in. And I told her, because she was looking at buying like some fat burners and all this stuff. And I was trying to tell her like, yo, this stuff helps accelerate the work.
Yes,
if you're not putting any
go.
work in, this isn't going to do you any good.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to sell you some stuff.
That's real.
For you to think that there's like some magic pill out there that you need to do, that you can just take this and then all of a sudden you're going to drop all this weight.
Yeah.
That's not how this works.
And that's one thing, just a quick sidebar, just about supplements in general.
Right.
Well, that was my next question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
People,
Yes.
people think that the supplements are this magic pill, right? And as a trainer, one thing that I always go to, right? And my grandmother used to say this, right? But I kind of put a different spin on it. She would say the proof is in the pudding, right?
Right.
And my thing is, if you break that down, when you think about your goal, especially fitness goal, if you say it in the sense of the proof is in the put in, it's all about what you put in.
Exactly.
Right?
Good one.
If you see what I did there? Put in. Yeah, you see what I did? Yeah. I flipped it on you. But pretty much, I mean, you can take all the supplements. If you're not getting up, if you're not putting in the work, if you're not consistent, if you're not managing the entire aspect of your fitness goal, that's nutrition, that's the workouts, that's rest, that's hydration. You really have to make sure you're on top of those things. Otherwise, those pills are just, a waste of money at that point.
So speak on this real quick. You said rest. A lot of people don't realize that rest is a key factor in a lot of nutrition.
Absolutely.
So how, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being obviously the most important, how important is rest?
Man, I would put it at least an 8. And here's why. Because when you're working out, whether it's, weightlifting or even people who are cardio bunnies, and we'll talk a little bit about that, your body needs that time to repair itself, right? And that happens when your body is at rest. So literally when you're sleeping, those muscle fibers are pretty much rebuilding themselves, right? And that's when you become stronger. That's when those muscle fibers have the time to recover. Your body needs that time to recover. So if you're talking about you're putting in an 8-hour day of work, you got kids, you may have a husband, you may have a wife, you're doing this and that, then you're hitting the gym, you're going to need some downtime, right? You're just really going to need some downtime. And even from a mental standpoint, like you're going to need that cognitive reset. Right. And rest is exactly where that is.
Right. Now, as far as working out, so there's obviously guys that go in and they're the power lifters. All they do is lift.
Right.
No cardio, legs are thin as I don't know what. Those guys, right?
That guy.
But how important is cardio in a workout?
It's important. I mean, everything has its place, right? And again, this goes back to the first question. It's not a straight answer because it really just depends upon your goal. One thing about cardio, and there's different ways in which you can go about do it, but most people think about what's called steady state cardio, and that would be running on a treadmill or going for a long run or maybe the stair mill for 45 minutes to an hour. It does has its place. It's good for burning fat, but it also burns muscle. Because here's the thing. when your body is going through that process of sustaining a long period of exertion, all it's looking for is, hey, I need energy. And really, it doesn't have any bias in terms of where it pulls that energy from. Mm-hmm. So if you think about long distance runners, think about their body type. Right? They're not very muscular compared to sprinters. Right. Exactly. They're not very muscular. They're very lean. They may have a low body fat percentage, but they don't have that physique that you might see on the front of a magazine, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. Then you have what's called HIIT, right? And really, when you go to high intensity interval training, which is what HIIT stands for.
HIIT.
There you go. Pretty much that is what I would recommend for someone who's looking to maintain their muscle mass, mm-hmm. because really when you're going at a high level of intensity with short breaks in between, what happens is your body is looking for the most efficient, right? A most efficient energy source. And that's when your body's using its fat stores, right? Mm-hmm. And because you're doing it at these short intervals, you don't really dip into your muscle reserves, right? So that would be the best way that I would go about with someone who's looking to maintain muscle mass. If someone who doesn't really care much about that, cool, steady state cardio works. Even with, competitors, there is a place for steady state, but you want to be mindful of how much of it you do.
Right. Okay. How many calories should we be consuming in a day?
Ooh, that's another one of those flexible questions, because it really depends on, gender, height, weight, age, those things definitely play a part. And even your activity level plays a part in that as well. If you would go to Google and look what FDA says, it probably would say a calorie intake of 2,000 calories. Mm-hmm. And when you look at nutrition facts, everything is based off of that 2,000 calorie diet. Now, of course, we may, my little sister who is 5'2" and 140 pounds, 2,000 calories might be a bit much for her, mm-hmm. right? But if you think about us here, we're active, mm-hmm. good muscle tone, active athletes, we may need more than that to sustain.
Right.
So that will be the first thing I would consider. What is your body type? What is your age? And then you can talk about what is your goal. So if I'm looking to lose weight, the first thing I want to do is figure out, okay, what is my resting metabolism? And there's a million calculators you can go onto the websites and find. You plug in your information, it'll spit out a number for you. But the key thing is you want to make sure that you're at a deficit of at least 500 calories per day, right? So
if you're trying to lose weight.
Absolutely. So if you're trying to lose weight. Right. Matter of fact, let me change the word. If you're trying to lose body fat, right? Because there's this difference of losing weight and losing body fat. And that's a whole nother layer that we can get into. But if you're looking to lose body fat, having 500 calories a day deficit will allow you to estimate about 1 pound per week.
Okay.
Right. And that's a healthy, sustainable way to do it. You're not starving yourself. Right. You still can have a very balanced diet and still maintain that. And I think people kind of scoff at only 1 pound. But I don't know if you guys ever seen the little models of what a pound of fat looks like versus a pound of muscle. It's a significant difference. Yeah. Right. It's a significant difference. So if you allow yourself to really, stay consistent and go through with it, you'll be happy with being able to not only just lose body fat, but keep it off. Mm-hmm. Now, the other flip side to that would maybe someone who's looking to build muscle or gain more. So their calorie intake needs to be a little bit more. Mm-hmm. You need to be at a caloric surplus, not necessarily at 500 calories, but you want to look to do what they call a lean bulk, right? So about half a pound per week. If you add about half a pound per week, you will get a little bit of body fat, but you really want to focus on just adding nice lean muscle. So you want to be at a surplus in order to do that.
Okay. So I know a lot of people when they go on these I want to lose weight things, instead of seeking out, nutritional facts or talking to someone, they think that skipping meals is going to help them lose that weight. And ouch. I can get down to, I can do 1 meal a day. I work with someone in my part-time that her and her husband now, they want to lose weight together. So
I think we all know some people like that.
And they're gonna have 1 meal a day. They're gonna.
Yeah, you can't do those gimmicks, man. Nah. You gotta be. It's something that you gotta be able to maintain.
Absolutely, that's key. I mean, you nailed it. Because what's gonna happen is they start to eat that 1 meal per day, and the thing I don't think people understand what that does to your body. Right, your body's
actually amazing in terms of how it will adapt to this kind of stuff.
That's exactly where I'm going. Man, CB's the man over here, dude.
So let me paint a picture real quick for our listeners. It's like dueling pianos in here, but biceps.
I like the accuracy. I like the accuracy. Yeah. But I don't think people really realize what that does to your body, because your body's job is really to adapt to the environment and just to make sure that it does whatever it needs to do for you to survive. Mm-hmm. So when you start to only feed yourself one time per day, your body says, well, shoot, I need this much energy, and by energy I'm meaning food, but you're only giving me this much. Well, let me make sure that I slow down the metabolism in terms of how much I'm burning. Let me make sure that I use a little bit of muscle here to kind of sustain myself, through the times that I'm not eating. And when I get that food, I'm going to hold on to it for dear life, and I'm going to store it as fat, because I don't know the next time I'm going to get more food. Mm. And that's really how the way your body works. And so, that's why, most fitness professionals who know what they're doing will encourage you to eat multiple meals per day, because your body starts to work almost like a furnace. And the example that I like to use is a campfire. I'm not sure if you guys ever been around a campfire, but if you think about the fire itself as your metabolism, and the wood would be the food, right? Mm-hmm. So sometimes when you have a campfire, if you add too much wood to the fire, you can do a couple of things. You can smother the fire itself, because there's more food than your metabolism can burn, right? Mm-hmm. So those are people who are overeaters. They eat so much that their body can't keep up with it. The other thing about that same analogy is there's always chunks of wood left over because it never got burned. Same thing with your body. If you're eating at too much of a surplus, your body's going to hold on to that extra because you're not expending that energy. The flip side of that are people who are undereaters. And in that same campfire example, if you don't give enough wood to the fire, it dies out, right? Same thing with the people who eat that one time per day. Your metabolism is going to kind of slow down. So just like with anything, you give a little bit of wood, you let it burn, you get a little bit more, you give a little bit more, and that fire will burn all night if you consistently add wood to it. Right. And the same thing with your metabolism and food.
Right. I've heard that is they're starting to recommend against eating like a lot of meals during the day. Like there used to be a thing where people would be like, yeah, if you snack, 5 or 6 times a day instead of just doing like 3 meals, is bad because your body builds up insulin. And because it's trying to burn the fuel, instead they're starting to recommend to go back to maybe 3 meals a day.
Because you need those high quality snacks.
There we go.
Because that's the difference. Is like, so the insulin response has to do with the carbohydrates that you're getting in. Mm-hmm. So if you're getting in like those sugary carbs and everything, that's what spikes your insulin. So that's why over maybe the last couple of years, you hear about like paleo and keto and some of these like really low carb diets and everything. And it's because like it helps you regulate your insulin, your body's insulin response. Right. And so, if people are snacking a lot throughout the day and their snacks are chips and really like carb heavy, like with no other nutritional value. Right. Like, so from your body standpoint, there are essential fats, so fats that your body needs to live on. There are essential proteins that your body needs to live on. There are actually no essential carbohydrates. So carbohydrates themselves actually are very efficient in terms of giving your body energy, but they actually they're not actually a requirement for you to live. Like as a human being, you could not eat any carbs and only get fat, protein, and drink your water, and you could live, fine. and you'd be perfectly fine forever.
So give us some examples of those carbs that you're talking about. So the more common ones that people can relate with.
Right. So like when you're talking about, so for like a keto diet, for example, which is as far as like a low carb diet is the only thing that me personally I've ever had any success with, and any kind of like success as far as sustaining it.
Sure.
And so you get all of your carbs from fibrous vegetables. Yes. So you're eating your greens, like any kind of greens. For me personally, I love spinach. So it's a lot of that. You're getting it from your vegetables. You're not getting it from bread. You're not getting it from like sugar.
How is keto different from paleo? Because I know it's like, paleo is about eliminating like all the complex carbs.
Correct. And it's a little bit deeper than that too. So the paleo diet or the paleo concept has more to do with going back to the eating styles of cavemen, right? So back in those days, they had meat, they had nuts, they really didn't have many grains, right? And they didn't have anything like, breads, because they didn't have, exactly. They couldn't process the wheat, right?
Right,
They didn't
right,
have
right.
peanut butter, right? So things that are more processed
Eating
are
in their raw
completely
state.
eliminated, right? So you can have a steak, you can have bacon. All those things are good on the paleo diet. The difference between that and what we're comparing it to, and keto diet. So keto diet is exactly what CB was pretty much explaining.
right.
You have high fat, moderate protein, very, very low carbs.
Okay.
Like 70%, 75% of my calories when I was doing keto was coming from fat.
Yeah.
Which it sounds like a lot, but when you actually have to think about like how many calories 1 gram of fat represents,
Yeah,
like
So what was a fatty food? I mean, are you talking about avocado?
Avocado's a good
one.
so avocados.
Like, what do you
like, no, so here's the thing. Here's the thing is like, yeah, pizza has a lot of fat, but pizza's based around carbs.
Yes.
Like we're talking about like bread that we're
Right.
eating. So when I was keto, and I mean, if we need to post some pics of when I was
Oh,
super
my
keto, we
God.
could totally do that.
I think Cornell already
thirst
fried you
trap.
on that.
I think Negative
Thirst
Nelly
trap
was
is
hating on
out
that
here.
real quick.
I don't think Nancy Nelly would like that.
But I'm like it was a lot of like I was taking MCT oil. I would medium chain triglycerides,
triglycerides,
putting
yeah.
that like in my coffee and stuff. Coconut oil, avocados, a lot of that stuff. I was eating steaks.
Yeah.
I was eating, I was doing like 80-20 ground beef.
Yeah, I was going
Like-
to say 80-20 ground beef's another good one. If you get a nice cut of, they have ground bison. That's another one. High in protein, high in, fats. And the other thing
it's
about
the high quality fat.
that's exactly that's the thing. You don't want to go for the cheap fat stuff. You don't want to go. Oh, I'm going to McDonald's and get a burger. That's
Right.
fat, right? That's not what you're going for. You want grass-fed beef as much as you can. And again, 80-20 is typically pretty good. Sometimes I sneak in some bacon just because I really like bacon.
Love bacon.
and I really like
when
it.
I was keto, ton of bacon.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
so much bacon because I mean, like from a keto set, like, and that's the thing. That's actually why me personally I liked keto is because I didn't need to actually give up the majority of foods that I really love.
that you enjoy.
Like
Yeah, that's
I
huge.
love burgers. I love steak. Like I love a lot of that carnivore kind of stuff.
Sure.
And a lot of that stuff is literally just fat and protein. Like there's no carbs in it. And so it's real easy to make a Cobb salad. You just put boil up some eggs or something, throw some bacon in there. And it's one of those things that regulating your insulin response, you would be surprised how quickly just cutting out some of the sugars. It's mostly the sugars.
Sugars
Like I'm not
is huge,
I'm not
yeah.
going to hate on carbs themselves because what
But they're not the
learned-
devil. Yeah, carbs aren't the devil.
Right. What I learned from doing the whole keto thing is that, like, yes, in terms of how I looked, my response was fantastic, but I had way less energy in the gym. And I've learned for me personally that when I'm trying to be strong, I need
You
carbs.
need those carbs.
I need
Absolutely.
that glycogen for me to actually get the response that I want. So it's like finding that balance for each individual person
Right.
because I also know other people that they can be keto for the rest of their life and they don't care. And I'm like, well, you know what? I love tacos and I'm gonna need some of those
Yeah, man.
tortillas and I need that.
How important is lifting?
Very important.
I think it's the most important.
Yeah, very
personally.
important because here's what happens. You think about people who want to lose weight and they typically focus on the cardio, right? I want to lose weight, so I'm gonna go cardio. I'm gonna run myself to death and I'm gonna lose 100 pounds. But here's one of the key things that people forget. Not only is it just for the actual look of your physique, because when you think about a person's shape, you're shaped by muscle. Muscle is what gives you that nice physique, those nice round shoulders. A lot of people would always compliment Michelle Obama on her arms. Guess what? That shape, that's muscle. That's lean muscle. And in order to do that, you have to have some sort of weight training or resistance training. The other part about that is it takes your body a lot of energy to maintain muscle. So naturally, a muscular person will burn more calories at a resting metabolism than a person who doesn't do much weightlifting. And then the other layer is if you talk about from an exertion standpoint, lifting weights cause you to burn a lot of calories because it's exertion, right? You're pushing something heavier than you normally would. You're pulling something heavier than you normally would. And last but not least, the benefit, you're strong, right? So from a functional standpoint, if you need to pick up a box, you're strong enough to do it. You didn't, sure, you can run 80 miles, but can you help me bring in the groceries, right?
Exactly.
So I know a lot of people get discouraged when they put the work in. They eat right, they work out, they lift, they do everything, and they weigh themselves, and they don't see the results. Now, are you guys pro weighing yourself weekly, or don't weigh yourself at all? Just do the work, and then it'll eventually show up.
That's a great question. So the scale is not the end all be all, right?
100% agree with
It's
all
not the
of
single source of truth, is what I like to say, because the scale doesn't tell the full story of your weight. Great story for you. So recently, and it's going to go off topic just a little bit. I had to get my life insurance policy and stuff together, and part of that is you get blood work. They do your height, they do your weight. And they came back with a crazy weight for me because I'm 5'8" and 190 pounds, right? So without seeing me,
They
they're
probably
like,
told you right away that you're obese.
this guy is overweight. He's obese. He is going to be a problem to cover him.
Based off of your BMI, you're obese.
Exactly, but the story that the scale didn't tell was my body fat percentage is fairly low, right? So it doesn't necessarily tell that, and that's one of the things that can happen also, from the everyday regular person. The other thing is, how much water you're drinking or not drinking can be one of those things, and naturally your body's going to fluctuate in weight, from the time of day to, for women, if you're on your cycle, all those things can play a part. So what I like to tell my clients is, cool, if you want to get on the scale, that's perfectly fine. We're going to have a set interval that we do it. We're going to do it at the same time each time. And we're also going to use these other things. We're going to look in the mirror. How do we look? How do our clothes fit? How do you feel when you go up the stairs? Were you tired before when you went up one flight and now you can do it? So if you can climb 5 flights of stairs now and you can only do 1 flight of stairs the week before, who cares what the scale says? You're getting progress, right? You're healthier. You're in better shape. So it has to be a holistic view.
Are there some, I don't want to say easy ways, but are there some easier ways to get cardio for the person that can't make it to the gym every day? That just works a 9 to 5. They got the kids. What's some easy cardio for that person to put in?
Sure, man. I mean, skip the elevator, take the stairs. That's
right. Or other types of exercises you can do. So, for instance, like my knee's blown up right now. I was helping my uncle move last week and kind of tweaked it, and then when I was DJing last night, it kind of blew up again. So
you hurt your knee DJing?
exercise?
You must throw an awesome ass.
I mean, I'm lifting all this shit. It's a lot. It's a lot goes
Marcus
into
got
it.
all this big ass DJ equipment in his room.
Exactly. I'm just getting my weight training in.
Yeah.
But like what kinds of exercises can you do that are cardio but can lower the impact on your knees or your joints?
So to directly answer that question, there's 2 things I would suggest. The recumbent bike, because you're pretty much in a seated position. Your legs are out in front. It's a nice and easy motion. You can control the resistance with the controls. That would be one thing that I would suggest. And of course, there's no impact, right? There's no impact. So I would also suggest going into the pool and doing some of your normal exercises, right? The reason being, because you're in water, it's going to decrease your overall weight, right? So some of the things that you may not be able to do, outside, you may have the ability to do in the pool. Right. So use water, use the pool, recumbent bike. A lot of people like to use the elliptical. That's another good option as well. But in terms of like simple ways to get exercise in, again, skip the elevator, take the stairs, walk more. If you're a person who is active, if you have children, get out and run around with the kids. I mean, you don't really have to have any major structure around being active. Being active and being consistent is important.
So those 10,000 steps that people try to count daily, does that work towards something?
Absolutely. Again, we're talking about expending energy. If you normally would be sitting down, right? If for the majority of your life you sat, right, and you took a cab and you drove, and then all of a sudden you started to walk. How we talked about your body being smart. Your body gonna say, "Oh, we're doing a little extra. Let's burn a little more, right? We're gonna get a little. We need to be more efficient about this process because apparently this is something that we need to be prepared to do."
And one of the things that G already said, like in terms of fitting more work into a less period of time, if you're talking about cardio, doing HIIT instead of that long sustained cardio, you can get as much work done in 30, 45 minutes doing intervals where you're maybe, 45 seconds, you're going at a leisurely pace, and then 15 minutes, or 15 seconds, I'm saying. So 45 seconds, you're going, leisurely. Then 15 seconds, you're just going all out. Right. If you're doing that, you can burn just as many, if not more calories in a shorter amount of time.
Absolutely.
Than if you're just, trudging along and just doing whatever. So you don't need and that's a common misconception. You don't need to be in the gym for hours at a time. You can get all the work done in a shorter period of time. And if your energy output is at the right level, you're going to see results quicker than you would think. So, you don't need to be in there you should be trying to kill yourself, but I mean, you don't need to be killing yourself, if you know what I mean. It's the same thing. They say work smart, not hard.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in the gym. Work smart, and you'll get everything that's worthwhile takes some time.
Absolutely.
So what about the older people? Now you see a lot of older people around. Let's paint a picture. New Year's resolutioners.
Sure.
Right.
You get all kind of body weights in there, all types of people, but then you get the older people that are definitely can tell that they're overweight and they want to lose weight, and a lot of them may have bad knees or a bad back, or so they're limited to a lot of things they can do. So what are some of the things that you recommend that they can do? Yeah.
Well, the first thing I would always tell someone is know your limitations, right? Just because it look cool on Instagram doesn't mean it's for you, right? So, typically if I have a client who's older, number one, we're probably not going to be doing, serious deadlifts and things like that. One of the cool things that I like to do, we take a regular chair, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up. Sit down, stand up. So now you're learning to activate these muscles that have been dormant for so long,
They
right?
might activate twice a day.
Absolutely. Another thing that I like to focus on with, people who've been inactive for a while is core strength. Core strength is important. It literally is the glue between your upper body and your lower body. And you don't know how much you use your core until you hurt something either in your back or in your abdomen. And you don't realize how much you use those things for just literally stability. If you're standing still and someone bumps into you, the first thing you need to do is engage your core to keep from falling down. Another thing I like to do is balance stuff. Because things with balance, is one of those things, those small, balancing muscles, just learning how to engage those and focus in on those and build what I like to call the mind-muscle connection. So you're actually feeling those stabilizers in your foot, in your ankle, in your calf, in your quad start to work because you're standing on one foot. And again, your core as well. So you start from those base exercises and you just kind of build as they increase and they progress.
Okay. Is a major question right here.
Oh, here we go.
There's a lot of people, because a lot of people are into these things, and this is so those high market lose weight physical fitness programs, Herbalife.
Ah, man. Okay.
Let's take. What are your thoughts on that? And how? I know the answer to this, but why are the results for Herbalife so huge? Like, why do people feel like Herbalife is the way to go? Because I'm seeing results. These people are showing me their results.
Here's my take on Herbalife. And, first of all, hey, if that's what you do, that's your thing, hey, by all means, do your thing. But we're back into that supplement category again, right? Again, there's no magic bullet. But the one thing that I have found that has been successful for people who use Herbalife is the community around it.
Right.
It's that accountability piece, right?
Huge.
You literally have a group of people. Hey, did you do what you're supposed to do today? Hey, we're having a walk today. Hey, we're having group workouts today. And Herbalife is just a part of that.
Right.
Again, I've never met a person, and I could be completely wrong, but I've never met a person who only says, hey, I only drink this drink and nothing else, and have had the results that you may see in a before and after. Right? Those people are really buying into the community of what Herbalife provides, and that includes the fitness portion, that includes the accountability, that includes the nutrition.
And in a lot of senses, like for a lot of those people, they have never done anything before. So the fact that they're getting off of their butt and actually doing some stuff, and they're being held accountable. Because think about it. Whenever in our lives, and we've had a workout partner, and we're going to the gym with somebody else who's holding us accountable to going to the gym and actually doing some work. we've always been more efficient doing that kind of stuff than actually only relying on yourself. There's a select few of us out there that can self-motivate and don't need anyone else pushing them. Right. But for the majority of people, you need that community. And, whether it's coming from, like the Herbalife group or whatever, if you're getting off your butt for the first time in a long time and actually starting to do something,
you're going to
see
that's going to make a
results.
difference.
Yeah, you're going to
that's
see
going to
some
make a
results.
difference.
Yeah.
And then if you consistently are getting up and doing this because you have friends and family or whoever holding you to it, think about it. That you're actually making a change in your lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that's going to lead to sustained weight loss.
That's huge.
That kind of stuff.
That's huge.
It's raining.
Wow. It just started raining now.
It actually started raining real hard.
The Herbalife gods aren't
all
happy.
right, Jesus.
So that's what I've told people before, that if you take the same workout and you cut you eat the same way and you have an accountability partner, you're going to see the results regardless, whether there's Herbalife behind it or not.
Right.
So, G, you have something great that you've been working on that you're putting out there.
Man,
Tell us about Torch.
And you know what? It really has hit on a lot of the things that we've already talked about, which makes me even more excited to talk about.
Let's do it.
Torch. So Torch is our online group fitness program. It's the first online group program for our Elite Fitness Pros app. I am the owner of Elite Fitness Pros.
Plug it.
I got to give
plug,
it a guy.
plug.
www.elitefitnesspros.com. You can find all the information. And one of the things that we wanted to do with the creation of Torch is actually come up with a resolution to a lot of the problems that we've run into in the fitness industry. So let me tell you a little bit about what Torch is. So again, Torch is an online group program. It's downloadable to your phone through the Elite Fitness Pros app. You can access your workouts anywhere you have internet access. So you can pretty much do your workouts at your leisure, right? All the workouts are 30 to 35 minutes long. Why? Because all of them are HIIT workouts, right? So all the stuff that we talked about from HIIT, just kind of scroll back a little bit, listen to what we said about that, then come back to this spot and you'll know why that's important, right? So all of those benefits are packed into the online app. There's 4 workouts per week. Again, you have the flexibility to move those around. And what we just talked about in terms of the accountability portion is myself and all of our other trainers are directly connected with you through our online messaging system. And then we also have what we call the Torch community. So everybody who's doing Torch is connected through the app. And what's great about it is, so when I do my workouts, I get it done, I hit complete, a message pop up. Greg just completed his workout for the day, right?
Nice.
And then somebody can give you a high five. Hey, I see you killing it. Oh,
There
Greg,
you
you up
go.
early in the morning. You're doing your thing. And I can write a message to everybody else. Hey, who else is doing their work? And then CB can post his shirtless pic from his keto diet,
Like,
and
hey,
then we're
guess
all
what, guys?
motivated, right?
Got my work in.
Thirst trapping.
So that was one of the things that we really wanted to make sure that we had was that accountability piece, not only with certified trainers, but with other people who are going through the trenches with you as well. The exercises that we use are the most efficient and most effective things that you could really pack into a workout. We're using the protocol, the high intensity workouts, and pretty much all you need, a pair of dumbbells, some open space, and when I say open space, I mean like literally your living room, and pretty much internet connection, and you're plugged in.
And you get videos of the exercises.
I'm glad you asked. So again, that was one of the things, because we want to make it seamless, right? We want to make it as foolproof as possible. So you have video demonstrations of every single exercise. You press play, you get a front view and a side view of every single exercise. You also have a written description of every exercise. So if you don't want to watch the video, you just want to read step by step, hey, stand with both feet shoulder width apart, slightly bend your knees. You get the whole thing.
Dope.
And if none of that makes sense, again, you have access to all of our trainers through the Elite Fitness Pros app. You can just message one of us, say, hey, I'm having a really hard time. There's a, Skype is built in within our app. We can do a Skype session. Whatever you need, we've made it as easy as possible to really get in, get your workouts. It's an 8-week long program. You're connected to trainers. It's only 30 minutes a day, 4 days a week.
Now, is there a counter in there with you to let you know how much time you have is elapsed?
Absolutely. So when you go into your workout, so one of the first workouts you get in the Torch suite, I'll call it the Torch suite, is called WTF. right? Right. So that's the first workout. So when you go and you go pretty much like
That's how you're
what?
gonna be feeling.
Like what was that, right? So when you click into WTF, you go to your calendar. So each individual who is assigned to Torch, you have your calendar, so you can see which workouts are coming up. And you have the ability to adjust those, however you see fit. You click on that workout, you'll see all of your exercises with all of the explanations and all of the videos, right? Once you do that, I get it. I understand what I'm doing. You hit start workout. It gives you a countdown, 3, 2, 1, and literally walks you through the entire workout. So the counter is already there. So if you have 20 seconds on with 30 seconds off, the counter's going to do everything for you. At the bottom, you can see the very next exercise that's coming up. So you're already prompted about what's next. And it's great, man. If you need to pause, you can pause. If you need to save, you can save. Right. It's awesome, man. I've been really happy to to get this out here to the people. We're making a really big push this summer, of course, because it's
people need to start doing that
season
now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ready for something.
Absolutely.
Right. If you want to get in that banana hammock summertime, make sure you.
People ask me why I train so hard in the winter. It's because the pool opens in the spring.
You gotta be ready. You gotta be ready. So yeah, if you want to find out more information, again, you can go to www.elitefitnesspros.com. You can find us on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram at fit_pro, PRO_G. And I'll be happy to answer all your questions. There's a lot of shots of me doing Torch. And another thing is, if you go follow me on Instagram, we're going to be doing what we call Torch Live, right? So we're going to get on Instagram Live. We're going to walk through the entire program. So even before you sign up for it and get the app and purchase the program, you can see what you're getting into, and it pretty much sells itself.
I mean, anyone that can do that, get a free session in if you can.
Absolutely.
Because
Take
you'll
advantage.
be sold.
Is Torch aimed towards people who are enthusiasts, or is it gauged for like beginners or all the way through?
All the way through, and that's another great thing about using time as your measurement versus reps, right? So let's say that we all decided to do the same exercise, but the goal, you got to get 20 reps. Well, there's no guarantee that we can all get 20 reps. But one thing we can do is, hey, go as hard as you can for 30 seconds. Right? So whatever that looks like for that individual, as long as you're pushing yourself for that 30 seconds, you're going to start to get those results. And what you'll find is the person who can only do 10 seconds of that 30, if they keep going, the next time they ever do 15, and then you can do 20, and now you're killing the 30, right? So it's all about that consistency and making sure you're pushing yourself.
How long did it take you to get all that in place and get it launched?
Man, Torch has been in the works for a very long time. So the first time I've done a Torch workout was down in Navy Yard in D.C. in 2012.
Wow.
Right? Wow. And we were I was teaching boot camp classes at that time. People were coming to the boot camps, and it was great. But again, what I was finding is, after work, there's traffic, and you got to pick up the kids, and you got to go do this. And, there was a lot of distractions to actually getting to the workout.
A lot of excuses.
At that word. Yeah. And so...
Says the guy that doesn't have any kids and is not married.
So, I mean, I was fortunate enough, man, to have an opportunity to work with the folks up at Nike in Beaverton, Oregon. I was doing some fitness stuff and also working with their digital innovation, and being able to see how they were able to merge technology and fitness was amazing. And the light bulb went off. Like, well, why not just put everything into an app? Make it accessible. Make it easy. So the person who likes to work out at 10:30 p.m. can just open up their phone, open up their app, go in the living room and get it done, right? And still be connected to a group of people who have a common goal.
Nice.
Is there a nutrition piece to Torch?
It's not embedded, but we also provide nutrition services. Cool. One of the reasons why we didn't add it as a piece of it is because, like we talked about, the nutrition piece is very, very custom, right? Personal. It's very personal, right? A good exercise is a good exercise, but a good diet is different from person to person, right? So that was one of the things that, we decided, once we launched, maybe things will change down the road. But as of right now, we do have that as an add-on, but it's not packaged in with Torch right now.
Are you going to do any live Torch session, like outside, like a community work?
Absolutely. So you reference my girlfriend, or my fiance now. She's going to beat me up for saying girlfriend. You reference my fiance. So her and I are actually going to partner and do more Torch live sessions, which are going to be physical, workouts. And we're actually going to be launching another program for the ladies called ABG, Abs, Buns, and Guns. right? So some of those,
right.
yeah.
I feel
You
like
see
I gotta
those
show
before and
up.
after.
Yeah, so some of those, those areas that women like to focus on. And again, this is not like target based exercise. We're not saying like, hey, all you got to do is do sit-ups and you'll lose your stomach. No,
Right.
we're literally going to work the entire body with an emphasis on those 3 body parts.
Nice. All right, that's dope.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
So,
I'm hyped.
You guys, make
especially
sure,
for the people that are in like the DMV
Yeah.
and everything like that. Like you don't got any excuses, man.
Right.
Like
Right.
you've
Greg's
got
in the room. He's in the
We're
room
here.
right
you got
here.
CB
like,
and Greg in the room.
We are here.
And
Yo.
wow, no, that's dope, man. I think people need to hear that though. People need to, because there's a lot of misconceptions about working out, losing weight, and people just think that it's going to be easy, and they can go to the gym.
If it was easy,
Back
it
to
wouldn't be
the
worth it,
New
man.
Year's resolutioners, right?
Right.
They can go in the gym January 2nd, and they can work out. This is why I hate going to the gym between January 2nd to March 30th.
Right.
Because it's normally a 3-month span,
Mm-hmm.
and you get them in there, and they do everything. Literally, like one night in the gym, they're on a treadmill, then they
Right.
get on elliptical,
Yeah,
then they're doing chest, they're doing back, they're doing abs, they're doing glutes, I'm like, everything. And no wonder you're burnt out by the time the end of the week
Exactly.
hits.
And the thing is like there are benefits to doing whole body training, but the people that are going in
From
and
the
doing
couch?
that, like
Yeah,
from
yeah.
like they don't
No.
know what they're doing. Like
Yeah.
it's and for the people that look at it and they're like, oh well, all right, Chris and Greg, they're talking about this stuff. It's easy for them. It's like, yo, the older you get, the more work you got to put in. Like it doesn't get
Absolutely.
easier.
Absolutely.
And so for, as you're getting older, it shouldn't be a deterrent because there is a group out there, there's a family out there that's ready to support you.
For sure.
And that's bigger than anything because if you got, your friends or, even if they're strangers, but you're working towards the same goal,
Right. All
and
you
you
have to
guys
do
are
is
motivating
find one
yourself,
person that has the same goal as you, and that's that you have accountability. Just hold each
sure.
other accountable, and just go for it.
Yeah, man.
Now, my quick question before we wrap up: what is your thoughts about those baked potato training plastic jackets that everybody wears, thinking that's going to help them shred weight?
Bag.
So there's a couple of things like that. There's the It Works stuff, which is like the kind of like the tummy wraps, and you have the people who do the whole trash bag or sauna suits, as they're called. And guess what? Yes, if you put that on, you will lose weight. But I need you to understand why and the type of weight. Now, again, notice I didn't say fat. The weight that you're losing. You're losing what's called water weight, right?
Pay attention, people.
Yes.
Pay
so,
attention.
So there's a thing called subcutaneous water. So subcutaneous water is the water that literally lives between the skin and the fat, right? When you sweat, that's where that water comes from. By inducing more sweat, by putting on a sauna suit, your body's going to expel that water. So when you step on the scale, you may look a little tighter and you lost some weight and you're like, whoa, this thing really works.
You do feel really good about yourself.
Yeah, but you have to remember what we talked about earlier. Your body is smart, and your body's job is to regulate itself. So what your body thinks is, oh man, I'm losing so much water, and I'm not getting enough water in. I need to kind of hold on to more water, right? So after you've done that sauna suit, after you've done the It Works, your body's at a state of needing to maintain water. So now you're going to get a little more bloating, right? Now your body's going to hold on to more excess water, especially if you're not drinking enough water. Mm-hmm. So the thing that I like to tell people, if you want to get rid of water weight, the key to losing water weight, drink more water.
Right. No, that's actually
literally
literally it's actually true because the more water that you drink, your body, what Greg just said, it gets used to that.
Absolutely.
And it will actually maintain your body's natural water levels way more efficiently. And that was actually one of the things that I learned when I was keto was that because of the carbohydrates and everything, your body sheds the water weight real fast.
Yes.
How many ounces of water should you drink in a day?
I typically tell people to go for a gallon. If you go for a gallon and you get a little bit short, you're perfectly fine. Because again, your body is made up primarily of water, right? So you can't over drink, right? Those first couple of days may be a little awkward. You may feel waterlogged and kind of
like crazy.
You're going to the bathroom a lot, but again,
But your
now
body will get used to
now
that.
your body's going to get used to that, and you're starting to expel that water, right? And your body's not going to hold on to that water.
Right.
And the water weight makes a huge difference.
It really
Like it
does.
really does. Like if you don't change anything besides start drinking more water throughout the day, there are so many things just about your body's natural processes that you will feel so much better about.
Absolutely.
Your skin will clear up, all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely.
A couple of things that I do as far as trying to drink more water habitually is always the first thing I drink in the morning is water before anything else. A couple other, I try to overnight at least have a glass too, and that helps with maintaining that volume. Is getting in those habits like that.
I think someone told me an interesting fact that I didn't realize. I know when we talked about earlier, when you sleep, your body replenishes itself and all. And so I was wondering why, like when you wake up, you're thirsty when you wake up. I didn't realize like your body's dehydrated.
Yeah, your body's dehydrated. Absolutely.
And if you
that morning skinny. So if anyone ever talks about the morning
skinny is
and
real.
so if you ever follow my Instagram and I'm posting all these selfies and stuff in the morning, it's because of that. Like it's literally
that's
like
a real thing.
You end up being super dry and all that. It is what it is.
But I realized, so I used to get up and I'll drink like a whole bottle of water, and I used to realize that it would jack me up, like my stomach be jacked up but I didn't realize. Someone told me it was just take just a couple sips, just rehydrate. You don't have to drink a whole bottle, but if you're drinking all that water before you eat anything, like off an empty stomach, is going to have that issue on you. But I just something somebody told me. But okay, real quick, one more thing: waist trainers. Do those work for the ladies?
So here's the thing about, let me sit up straight. Man. How much time we got? So here's the thing about waist trainers. Waist trainers do nothing as far as losing fat. They don't do anything in terms of losing weight. They literally just change your shape. But here's the problem. Your body is shaped the way it's shaped because it has things inside, like your intestines, your lungs, your ribs, that it has to house. Right? When you start to cinch those things in, the stuff on the inside of your body literally have to shift around.
It's got to change.
Yeah, it has to change. So sure, if you wear a waist trainer habitually, you can cinch your waist. That's the only thing you do. You won't lose weight. It won't make you, your body fat won't go down. But what you're doing is you're literally creating a smaller space for your intestines, for your liver, for your bladder, all those things to live, right? And it's not healthy. Right. It's absolutely not healthy.
IG models, G just gave you the truth.
Take heed.
The thing is here's the thing. All those chicks that are getting paid on IG, on all the dudes that are getting paid on IG.
Dudes wear them too.
They're not making that money because they started wearing these joints while they're on Instagram. All these people were in shape before they started taking these pictures. True. And they're actually just getting money from these companies or whatever to promote whatever. And so on top of that, shout out Crystal Light.
You can't see me right now, but I'm raising the roof for Crystal Light.
Because we're talking about drinking more water, and actually for me and Kaleo, Crystal Light has these water drops, which are amazing, and they got this strawberry lemonade.
Tastes like a strawberry starburst.
It straight up tastes like the pink starburst. And for me, because I don't like drinking water, like personally, I think water it's not exciting. It's bland,
especially with a meal, right?
So the way that I'm able to get more drinking in is I got to flavor my water. Yeah. And actually, like, if people, especially for the coworkers, with me and Phil, that go by our desks all day, they see that we got like 12 of these water
it's
flavor.
like a mini bar at my desk. But it helps you drink. It just helps you drink.
Let's go a little Mandarin and a little peach today, right?
No, but like whatever we got to do to actually get more water in,
for sure,
because I can tell a difference between how. Like, just all my regular bodily processes are working when I'm getting my accurate, my acclimate water intake in. Yeah.
Crystal Light got me through Lent.
Man.
Because Lent, I gave up Chick-fil-A.
He gave up sweet tea.
Chick-fil-A,
sweet tea. And he loves sweet tea.
It was Jesus Christ. I'm trying to tell you.
Thank God you had a podcast during that time.
Right. So I started a podcast during Lent.
Right.
I gave up sweet tea and Chick-fil-A and all that, and I picked up Crystal Light. So there's actually something positive in all that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, they got that sweet tea, Crystal Light.
That was actually pretty amazing.
Compromise.
It's the only way to get no sugar. It's got those sugar substitutes, which I guess you got to take. For what those are worth anyways.
Yeah, some like stevia, stuff like that, like plant-based sweeteners.
Anything, and I'll jump on that stevia bandwagon because stevia is plant-based.
Yeah.
You're talking about like not the same in terms of like your body's response like it would to sugar as far as your insulin goes and everything.
For sure.
But yeah.
And you know what I'm a fan of? I'm a fan of carbonated water.
Oh yeah.
So
definitely.
so if you get a nice carbonated water, I take a couple lemons and lime, put it in there. I got fake Sprite.
There
right?
you go.
Yeah, it's more exciting, right? It's just
There you
more
go.
exciting with food. So
But it's the bubbles. It gives you that
It's the
fake,
bubbles,
that fake
absolutely.
Whatever
flavor
you
soda.
have to do to get your water intake in, it's the same thing. Whatever you got to do to motivate yourself to go and do maybe a little bit more work today than you did the day before.
sure.
You're gonna end up in the long run. Take the stairs 2 days a week instead of taking the elevator all 5. Right. All that little stuff.
That's what pisses me off about certain people at a job. We were on the 9th and 10th floor.
You're right.
And people will hit that damn elevator button to go
go
up or
one
down.
floor.
I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
It's,
Yeah. Well, no,
man.
whatever.
I don't
So,
know who listens to our podcast in the rest of the building, but everyone from floors 4 through 7, and they're just I'm on my way down. Elevator stops at floor 6. Person gets on, hits number 5. And I'm like, yo, you're telling me you couldn't go one
Kidding
flight of
me?
stairs?
One
And
flight.
I've had people that because I've made this known that I have a problem. I have a problem with this. Like, well, you don't know what people are going through. You don't know their health issues. And I'm like, you know what? No, that's true. But
Right.
there is a difference between you being completely incapable of walking a flight of stairs and it being just that much easier for you to take the elevator.
Right.
So I will not hate on you. I'm not going to do that. If you have a serious health condition,
Sure,
I'm
without a
not telling
doubt.
my grandmother who literally needs like a wheelchair to get around places to start taking the stairs when she can't.
Sure.
So
But it's got to be you know you.
So
you
tonight-
know you and you know what you can do.
tonight in CB's selfless, the shirtless selfie, he's gonna tell you this is what you get for walking the steps. But anyways,
Small changes go a long
there you
way,
go,
I'm
right.
telling you.
So for the soul, let's do this real quick. Let's,
Boom.
we normally do for the soul segment, go around the room,
Yep.
talk about what we got on,
Mm-hmm.
anything we got this week. So I'll start with myself. I've got on some turf shoes. They're Nike Elasticos. They're pink, lime green,
Joints are
black. And we'll post pictures of everything everybody has on too.
Yeah.
G has on some
Yeah,
real
man.
nice.
I got on it's rainy here in the DMV, man. So Nike did a little mashup between some of their classic designs and the all-weather boots. So I have on the Air Max 95 Army Green all-weather boots.
I didn't know that the tongue was fire like that. That's
they
that
got
is
the
sick.
they got the
makes it-
neon,
that
the
is sick.
neon pinkish oranges on the tongue.
That
Yeah,
is a
man.
high shoe.
Yeah.
It's hilarious because I'm wearing basically the Adidas version of the same joints.
What do you got on?
So I got the Alpha Bounce mids on, which are Gore-Tex. They're weather resistant,
Sure.
whatever. But yeah, no, it's a take on just a regular Adidas shoe, which is super
Nice.
comfortable, and they just made it available for people that are trying to wear it out in like the rain and the snow and all that.
Marcus has the box out.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, of course I got my Air. You know what I'm
Dad.
saying?
the Air Dad 90s.
Cookouts.
Air
I'm
pops,
chilling.
air cookouts. I like that.
Exactly.
Those Air Johnsonville sausages.
I came up on a little something slight.
People say something slight. It don't
Yeah,
mean
no,
they
this
about
is real.
to-
This is
about
actual
to
slight.
Oh, I got
I'm about to say
some
about to-
fire about to come out.
Oh
of
no,
that
come
joint.
on now. That was
Snow
a
Beach,
that's a nice
Air
colorway.
Maxes.
You got those 90s though.
Those are
That colorway's nasty.
Light, man. Those are dope.
And I know that we're dropping this on a Friday, but we record this on a Sunday. And for everyone that was checking out the We Are Something Else Instagram, y'all know that I came up on a little bit of something yesterday. So
Winner.
We're in a chicken dinner.
yeah,
for CB.
actually won a sneaker raffle and got me some Vapor Max off-white joints. So I mean, the sneaker guy's been good to us
There you go.
recently.
You already posted those.
Yeah.
So I'll
Yeah,
take
yeah.
pictures of everybody. We'll post them. But no, G, appreciate you, brother, for coming through.
Thank you,
Hey.
bro.
Blessing the podcast.
Fellas.
Hopefully somebody takes some good information from this on
Yeah.
they want to lose weight, they want to just get healthy.
Yo, and plug all
plug
your
Torch
stuff
one more
again
time
because
because
we-
people
man.
need to know that they
Torch.
have resources out here.
Absolutely. So the program is called Torch. It can be found on the Elite Fitness Pros app. It's downloadable on all iOS systems. So if you got a phone, you can get the app. All right. You can also find more information at www.elitefitnesspros.com. And also my personal Instagram is fit_pro_G. Be happy to help you guys in any way you need. Hey, fellas, I appreciate it, man. Episode
No
10.
problem, no
I'm in the
problem.
building.
Speaking of on all platforms, it's We Are Something Else. WERSUMTHINELSE. That's Instagram, Facebook, iTunes,
Google Play.
SoundCloud.
Yes, sir.
I say YouTube already. YouTube. We're everywhere.
We're everywhere.
We're everywhere.
Yeah.
And we are pushing this auxiliary super hard. That's that's our umbrella corporation that we're trying to get going, and we're going to have all the
Entertainment.
projects underneath.
I love
So
it.
it's going to
I
fall
love
under
it.
auxiliary.
Maybe we'll do a workout show.
Hey, man. we in here. We in here.
Exactly.
Superfly, plug your podcast.
Yeah, Superfly Friends. Superfly Friend at Superfly Friends, Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud. The auxiliary, man. We working.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
Get up, get out, and do something.
Yo, episode 10.
Episode 10,
dog.
epic, y'all. All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
We are
Something.